Want to learn how to do this? Or this? Or this? Then stay tuned. Howdy everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm showing y'all a tech that's been discovered for a while, but I believe isn't widely known. I'll be calling it momentum tech, since I don't think it normally has a name. Before we begin, I'd like to announce I'm doing polls again, and you can vote for which video I make next on my community page. Lastly, I'd like to thank my wonderful members of the channel. Thank you so much Kat, Roger, Noom, Tijabe, Listerine, Jamer, Rogans, Emerald, Infernus Lols, Zix, Skull Piercing, Suzer Wizard, Sebastian Paredes, Skittlesuit, Scarlet, Blitzkrieg, Springly, Spectral Filmer, and Winsita Matsu for your guys' amazing support. Now, on with the video. Let's start with the first question you're probably asking. What is momentum tech? Well, it's honestly really hard to explain, but it's a lot easier to explain when I just show you it. Momentum tech is this. And this. And even this. Some of you are probably looking at this and thinking, huh? Fret not, for I shall explain how this works to the best of my ability. Now, I'm not a developer, so I don't know exactly how it works, but what I believe is happening is hitboxes break with extremely high speeds. I believe momentum tech is most noticeable on Nolly and Cool Kid with their extremely long and speedy charges. Because of the extreme speeds of these abilities, you'll sometimes notice the hitbox just not line up properly with the ability at all. I feel this is even more noticeable on Nolly. When you use the tech to make his chain rush faster, the hitbox just freaks out and doesn't even travel with Nolly anymore. It's less noticeable with Cool Kid, but it's still there. You can see the hitbox detach when he collides with walls. This is why you sometimes charge far past survivors and then manage to grab them anyway, or charge through them and it just straight up doesn't hit. However, we can manipulate this knowledge and abuse it with walls. Let's just say you're playing Cool Kid, and the survivor against hugs walls tightly, making it hard to catch up to them. As long as they keep hugging that wall, and you've got room to charge, you can intentionally charge into the wall, and even if they're pretty far, the momentum of the charge will carry through the wall and strike them on the other side. For Cool Kid, this is extremely consistent and catches survivors off guard often. Even against the current best competitive team in Forsaken, I was able to abuse this twice in one round to get free kills. Nolly, on the other hand, is slightly different. The difference with Nolly and Cool Kid is that Nolly's first charge is slower, which means he gets less range to hit through a wall. However, with his follow-up charge tech, his follow-up rush is basically undodgeable. For those that don't know, you can sprint after landing the first hit of Void Rush, which makes the beginning of the follow-up charge have a huge burst of speed, way faster than Cool Kid's. This basically means you can grab survivors from far. Really far. And believe it or not, even Raging Pace works. Jason can use the M1 lunge of Raging Pace to extend through some walls. It's very thin since it's a puny lunge in comparison, but this honestly might be the only cool thing that Jason's can do. Keep in mind, while doing this, you want to try timing when Jason reaches his peak speed from the lunge. When Jason lunges, it's a fairly sudden burst of speed, and if you run into a wall with the highest speed from the lunge, you'll reach even further than normal. Next, I gotta cover this for survivors. There's currently 2 survivors that can also abuse this tech. 2-Time in particular is very noticeable. The lunge can reach through walls and can get some ridiculous backstabs. If you're trying to protect a teammate, killers really can't stop this if you position yourself correctly. And on top of that, missing the stab wouldn't matter, you're protected behind a wall. Lastly, Guess Punch works, but it's in the same situation as Jason. The lunge doesn't go as far, and therefore doesn't reach as far either, so it's less practical. Since the parry punch is speedy though, you can parry momentum tech with momentum tech. And that's it. There's nothing else in the game that has huge bursts of speed like these abilities, so surely that... Oh yeah. So it turns out, if you have any momentum on literally anything, you can hit people through walls. But it's kinda gimmicky. You can hit a survivor through any thin wall with every killer M1. It's especially noticeable in 1x1, who can use Unstable Eye to speed himself up, which will give him more range on his M1s. This is possible with every killer though. Just remember, your speed heavily influences how far the hitbox travels, meaning Jason will naturally be able to reach further, and John Doe will naturally have the least. Cool Kid probably struggles the most though, since his M1 hitbox is smaller than other killers. Now before I wrap up this video, there's one last thing I want to explain so you don't make the fatal mistake and bump into a wall for no reason. Remember, this tech requires momentum. If you're too close to a wall when trying this tech, your hitbox just simply won't move. Even if you use a move like Void Rush or Walk Speed Over right next to a wall, the hitbox won't go through. All you need is just a tiny bit of distance and you're golden. Finally, I'd like to say that you may sometimes see hitboxes travel through players when you do this tech and it won't hit anyways. I really don't know why this happens, but from what I understand, I believe some abilities in walls just don't really let this tech work, and you just straight up can't hit through some walls. From my testing, it seems this works best on smaller walls and some small structures and rocks that you can see over, but this is just more of a theory. That sums up everything I know about the tech though. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.